Hi, welcome to your lecture on the pH scale. So we just spent a couple days talking about acids and bases and buffers, and these are your notes to go with them. So acids are substances that cause water to release its hydrogen ions. Acidic solutions have pH that are less than 7, so from like 0 to 6.9. Bases are substances that grab hydrogen ions from water, leaving behind the hydroxyl ions, the OH. Basic solutions have pH that's greater than 7, so 7.1 to 14. The hydrogen ions are made by the dissociation of water molecules. So if you have a water molecule up top that's H2O, and one of the hydrogens splits off, that leaves a hydrogen ion and a hydroxyl ion. The hydroxyl is the hydrogen and the oxygen. The hydrogen is now an ion because ions are positively or negatively charged elements. pH scale measures hydrogen ion concentrations of fluid. They change, a change of 1 on the scale means 10 times change in hydrogen ion concentration. So one number change in concentration is actually a very large jump. 0 is the highest hydrogen ion concentration, and it is the most acidic. 7 is neutral, and 14 is the lowest hydrogen ion concentration, and it is the most basic. Raising or lowering the pH. Substances added to water can lower or raise the pH of a solution. If an acid is added, the solution will be considered acidic. If a base is added, the solution will be considered more basic or alkaline. Some of different items and where they fall on the pH scale are listed right here. For example, gastric acid is your stomach acid, and that has a very, very low pH. It's extremely acidic. Whereas bleach, a common household cleaning item, is extremely basic. pH in organisms. We talked about in class how organisms can only tolerate very small changes in pH because every cell has a particular pH that it can function best at. This list here shows you some of the ranges. You can see that frogs, perch, trout and salamander, different carp, different plants, snails, all have a fairly kind of a broad pH actually. However, the area that overlaps in the environment where they would be in, like a stream or something, is very small. So the stream or the pond pH actually has to be relatively stable. Otherwise, you're going to start killing off one species or another. Multicellular organisms. In multicellular organisms, the fluid within the cell and the fluid surrounding the cell have a characteristic and nearly constant pH. This pH is maintained in a number of ways, and one of the most important is through the buffer system. I showed you this scale in class, that the normal blood pH is between 7.35 to 7.45. Above that a little bit, and you get alkalosis, or below it a little bit, you get acidosis. And from 7 and below, or 7.8 and above, you die. Your pH of your blood has to remain very, very constant. So the buffers are substances that resist change in pH, and we test those at depth in lab. This picture shows hydrogen ions entering the bloodstream and making things more acidic, and the buffer right here grabbing those hydrogen ions and binding to them. Those molecules within that then get made into water molecules and carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide is able to be exhaled. On the right, you can see the carbon with 2 oxygen atoms being exhaled and leaving the substance, and just the water being left behind. This substance is in place to resist change in pH and maintain homeostasis. Have a good day.